In order to become a better decision maker, it's important to think in a logical way and avoid cognitive bias traps. There are two modes of thinking that influence decision making, System 1 and System 2. System 1 is our snap judgment, gut reaction, intuitive mode of thinking, while System 2 requires more effort and knowledge gathering, and when working ideally, leads to more rational decisions. System 1 tends to win out over System 2, leading to consistent, systematic errors in how we perceive and process information. The main sources of these biases are loss aversion and narrow thinking. Imagine you are at a casino playing blackjack and you win $20. Are you happy? Sure. Now imagine you lost $20 instead. This loss would probably instigate a greater response than the win did. This is a concept known as loss aversion, or a tendency to weigh losses greater than gains. When operating in System 1, we would allow a sunk cost of $20 to influence other decisions, such as the decision to bet again in the hopes of winning back the money rather than looking at the new bet logically and by the numbers. Remember, when you find yourself in a hole, the best thing you can do is stop digging. Loss aversion can also lead us to continue doing what has always worked instead of being open to new ideas and methods. For example, if we're used to one type of operating system, we're more likely to put up with its faults than to switch to a different operating system and have to put in the effort to learn how to use it. In addition, our brains tend to allow the positive and negative framing of a statement to influence our decision. Say there are two brands of meat, one branded 90% fat-free and the other 10% fat. We prefer the wording fat-free even though these two products are the same. The difference between a positive and negative frame changes our perception. The second tendency is narrow thinking. We weigh new information differently depending on our biases as opposed to taking the time to analyze them properly. We tend to seek out information that supports our perspective and ignore information that's against it. We also allow the first piece of information we receive to influence our decisions. For example, if you're told that it rained and the sidewalk is wet, System 1 thinking will lead you to jump to the conclusion that the only reason the sidewalk is wet is because it rained, eliminating all other possibilities such as your neighbor watering their lawn. How can you avoid these decision-making traps? Open up your mind to all possibilities of a situation and frame questions in different ways. Make sure that you're not placing too much weight on the first piece of information that you get, and that you're looking for information that both supports and is against your view. Recognize what information is unknown. The key is to recognize your assumptions and how they may influence your decisions.